Minecraft 1.20 just dropped. Here is everything new in 1.20, including all the significant features and Easter eggs added to get everyone up to speed that hasn't been following the snapshots. I hope you enjoy, and let me know in the comments how many features out of 28 you already knew, and which feature you're most excited to use first. Camels are now in Minecraft. They spawn in desert villages and let 2 players ride them at once. They have a dash ability that you can charge up with space and leap forward. They are bred with cacti, can walk over fences, and are tall enough that ground mobs can't hit the rider. They also have this super cute sitting animation that plays every so often. Speaking of new mobs, sniffers. These massive new mobs are totally peaceful and will occasionally stop around every 8ish minutes or so to sniff the ground for ancient seeds. Give them a bit of time and they'll dig up either torch flowers or pitcher pods. Torch flower seeds can be planted, giving you an advancement into torch flowers. These torch flowers can be crafted into orange dye or used to breed and tame sniffers. The pitcher pod can also be planted and turned into a pitcher plant, which can turn into cyan dye. Sniffers don't actually spawn naturally, but instead have to be hatched out of a sniffer egg, which you can either get when you breed 2 sniffers or in archaeology, which I'll cover soon. Once you have this egg, which also gives you an advancement, placing it on moss will cause it to hatch twice as fast, about 10 minutes instead of 20. There are also 2 new wood types. The first is bamboo. Crafted by 9 bamboo and then into 2 planks, you can craft pretty much anything you can with normal wood into its bamboo variant. It's also strippable and works as a fuel source just like any other log. The only difference, if you try and craft a boat out of the new bamboo planks, it'll make a raft. This raft acts the same as any boat but has a cool new model. The second type of new wood is cherry wood. Found in the new cherry grove biome, the wood is generated as part of the new cherry trees. They have their own saplings and leaves and give off these sweet particles. In this biome, you'll also find the new pink petal blocks, which work sort of like candles in their placing mechanic and are a really nice aesthetic touch. Up next is one of the more anticipated features of this update, archaeology. With a feather, a stick, and a copper ingot, you can make the new archaeology brush. Holding right click on the new suspicious sand or gravel blocks allows you to sweep it and reveal a treasure hidden inside. Just make sure you don't accidentally mine these blocks or you'll get absolutely nothing. If you're lucky though, you'll sweep up the new pottery sherds. These sherds, yes sherds not shards, will give you a new advancement for finding them and another advancement for crafting them into the new decorated pot using this recipe. There are 20 different sherds and you can customize the design of your pot based on how you craft it, with each crafting grid location corresponding to a different face of the decorated pot. But okay, where do we find this new suspicious sand and gravel? Well, there are actually a few places. The first is the new structure, the trail ruins. These wacky shaped structures can generate in this list of forest biomes and are usually found almost entirely underground. In their depths, you can find suspicious sand and gravel. Suspicious block you find has a predetermined loot and can either be common or rare. Common loot looks like this, and rare loot looks like this. You can also find suspicious gravel in cold ocean ruins with this loot table. Suspicious sand can generate in warm ocean ruins with this loot table, in desert wells with this loot table, and the new hidden room in the desert temple with this loot table. You can expose these hidden rooms by mining the sand patches in the desert temple. But you may have noticed these items that appear in archaeology. These are armor trims, a new epic way to customize your armor pieces. Using a smithing table, a piece of armor, an armor trim, and a valuable material of choice, you can add new patterns to armor. There are 16 trims that can all be found in various different locations, which I'll run through super duper quick. Hide has a 20% drop rate from Elder Guardians. You can get Coast from shipwrecks, Dune from desert temples, Eye from strongholds, Rib in fortresses, Sentry in pillager outposts, Silence from ancient cities, Ward also from ancient cities, Snout from bastions, Spire from end cities, Vex from woodland mansions, Wild from jungle temples, and Wayfinder, Shaper, Host, and Razor from trail ruins, suspicious gravel. Armor trims are consumed when used but can also be duplicated using the trim, 7 diamonds, and a special block depending on which trim you want to duplicate. Link in the description to see the whole list. Using an armor trim will give you an advancement, and using these specific 8 will also give you a new advancement. Similarly, this new update also revamped how we use netherite. Instead of just using netherite ingots to upgrade tools and armor, you now need an upgrade template as well as just an ingot. Perfect, Mojang. You can find these upgrade templates in bastion chests with a guaranteed appearance in treasure bastions. You can also duplicate them with netherrack and diamonds like an armor trim. You may have also noticed that you can find a new disc, relic, in trail ruins. Definitely take a listen after you've watched this video. The creative inventory got a huge rework, adding new sections deleting old ones, and making the interface much more straightforward, and toggling this setting in the options menu will add a hidden section with all the operator tools, including structure blocks and the debug stick. You can also find all the different flight duration rockets now, all the suspicious stews, ominous banners, dragon eggs, and monster spawners in the creative inventory, but they took out the petrified slab, which is a real tragedy. On the topic of spawning, spawn eggs for the iron golem, snow golem, wither, and ender dragon were added into the game, although you can only get the last two using commands. The monster spawner also lost its epic rarity and will display what mob is inside when hovered over in creative. Spawners will also no longer have the pig inside them when you first place them. Thanks to the implementation of the new Unifont system, if you're on Windows, you can press Windows in period or copy paste if you're on Mac. You can now have a bunch of emojis and special characters and type them in your Minecraft chat or item names. These now look way better than they used to and can be used pretty much wherever you want. Mojang also updated the piglin, making it drop its head when killed by a charged creeper. The piglin head flaps its ears when on a redstone block and when worn by a walking player. It looks super duper cute and kind of horrific. And on the topic of mob heads, placing a mob head on a note block will now play the ambient sound of that mob when the note block is powered. You can do this with creepers, zombies, skeletons, wither skeletons, the ender dragon, and of course piglins. You can't do this directly with a player, but using commands in the new note block sound tag, you can assign custom sounds to any custom skull. There is now also a new skulk sensor. This is the new calibrated skulk sensor and can be crafted like this. It can detect specific vibrations depending on what redstone signal strength is entering the amethyst wire side. Each type of sound falls into one of 15 categories. If a calibrated skulk sensor receives a signal strength of 1, for instance, it'll only detect category 1 sounds, like walking. In the description, I've left a guide on how to use this if you are curious. There are now 7 new default skins in Minecraft besides Steve and Alex. These are Noor, Sunny, Ari, Zuri, McKenna, Kai, and Effie, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced any of those. Along with the 7 skins, there are also 11 new splash texts, 5 promoting more inclusivity, a 6th in reference to an old typo, and 5 more relating to the new features of the game. This update also fixed an extremely old walking bug. In previous versions, shifting on the edge of a block like ice or honey wouldn't give you the effect of that block. This is no longer the case, and shifting still renders you susceptible to the effects. And on the topic of bugs, this update fixed another 10-year-old glitch in which the nether portal animation would continue to play and intensify after you pass through. Now it's finally quick and clean, and thank goodness for that. In the same realm, shields got insanely buffed, now able to absorb all explosion damage. Hanging signs are now a new block crafted with stripped wood of any type, including stripped bamboo and 2 chains. They have 3 variants: placed against a wall, placed on the bottom of a block, and the bottom of a fence. And on the topic of signs, they are now editable, and you can write on the back. An incredible quality of life change. There are now also new chiseled bookshelves. You can place 6 bookshelves of any kind, enchanted, written, regular, into the 6 slots and take any book out as you please. They function with comparators depending on which slot is occupied and can interact with droppers, hoppers, and skulk sensors. Placing a comparator behind a chiseled bookshelf will also grant you a new advancement. Some smaller changes you might want to be aware of: rabbits will now always drop meat, you can pick the port of your land world, you can now ignite creepers with fire charges, the Vex texture got overhauled, making it much more similar to the LA and confirming some of the lore we have been speculating, and finally, horses will no longer suffocate when going through portals, meaning no more Jorgen incidents. But most importantly of all, auto jump is now off by default. If you want to test your Minecraft knowledge in a trivia game show made for you, the viewer, click the video on the left, and if you want to try and watch me beat the hardest escape room in Minecraft, click the video on the right. But that concludes everything new in the 1.20 update. Check the description for all the technical changes I didn't cover, but peace out, thanks for watching, see you next time.